معرض الكتاب بيشارك فيه عدد كبير من الكتاب ودور النشر الأجنبية. هالة الحملاوي عملت لنا لقاء مع الكاتب الهولندي روبن صاحب روايته الأشهر نصف آخر نصف ديناصور، اللي بيتكلم فيها عن طفل لوسيان عنده 16 سنة وهو من ذوي الهمم وبيقيم في دار رعاية وبتحصل أحداث كتير. خلينا نتابع اللقاء.
روبن هو شاعر ومؤلف هولندي، ولد في عام 1984 ونشر منذ عام 2004 عدة روايات وعدة مقالات وكتب للأطفال تم ترجمتها. له عدة كتب وأعمال مسرحية، وحازت أعماله على العديد من الجوائز، وتحولت رواياته إلى أفلام ونشرت أعماله ب15 لغة، منها روايته معطف الصيف في عام 2018، ورشحت لعدة جوائز أهمها جائزة البوكر الدولية 2021 وجائزة لبريس الأدبية عام 2019 وجائزة أفضل كتاب للشباب الهولندية 2019. Ruben, you are a Dutch author and writer, and we're very happy to have you with us here in Channel 1.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Now, I want to know from you, when did you start writing? When did your passion for writing started developing? Yes.
Actually, when I was 16 or 17, I started writing, but really small things just for myself, not as a diary, but as to collect things that I experienced, mostly jokes, funny stories, things that that happened in school, and then I changed them a little. So I did write them how it was, but I changed them a little so they sounded more funny, or it was more a story. And so that's when I find out that I really like to write, because it helps you to remind things, to collect things, to not forget things.
Okay. Was it just expressing feelings, or was it just like documenting your ideas?
More documenting my ideas. And for me, as writing is also kind of an experiment, to be someone else, to be another person, to be someone who's not relating to me, but trying to find out what could somebody else feel or believe or...
Okay. So did you start by writing books or novels or poetry?
Poetry.
Poetry
Yes.
was the beginning.
Yeah, poetry was the beginning. Because poetry helps you, poetry is wonderful.
Of course.
It helps you to...
But it's more complicated, I think, or it's more complex when
Yeah.
it comes to writing poetry than
It's
writing a novel or a story.
It is. Yeah, you're right. But writing poetry gets you to the core of things, to describe things that are not describable. That's why poetry is circling around a topic or a feeling and then touches it.
Okay.
And that's writing poetry helps me to touch something. And from that I wrote poetry for children and then books, but writing poetry is the beginning of everything.
Okay. I want to talk to you about your book, this book. It's Summer Brother.
Yes.
I'm going to show it to the audience. Summer Brother is a book that has been translated from Dutch to several languages, including Arabic, and this is the Arabic version of it,
Yes.
which actually has a different title. Its title is Half Brother, Half Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So it tackles the relationship between two brothers, one of them with disability, Lucien, 18-year-old Lucien, and his younger brother and the girl he falls in love with. It's a very complex network of feelings and emotions, if we may say, right? Tell me more about the book and what drove you to write it. What sparked the idea?
There are many ideas. So I tried to bring it back to the core idea, and that was when I was a child, my parents took me to an institution where they worked for people with mental and physical disabilities. And they didn't have daycare for me, so I went there 2-3 days in a week, 4 years till I was 4. And I was surrounded by the people who lived there, but they were way older, 40, 50, 60, and they looked like my grandmother or like a really strong man. but they were mentally as old as I was. So they were really happy when I showed up, because I could use the video player, or I did know many things around there for food or in the kitchen. I could help them.
Yeah.
And we had a very special relationship, because with some people I wasn't able to talk because they didn't have language to talk. But in a way I did find out how you can communicate and how you find out your own language by looking, by touching, by
So
observing.
communication is a skill that develops among humans, not only using language,
Yeah.
but it goes
Yeah.
beyond language
Yeah.
to observation, to body language, and so on.
Yeah, I think that when you don't have language, when I would ask you how are you doing, and you may not use a word, I would see a lot of things happening in your face.
It's a very primitive way of communication.
Yeah,
we
but
may
it's
say.
it's you can't hide something. When you ask me how are you doing, and I would say well I'm doing very well. You don't know how I'm really doing. And when you really observe someone, you will see so many more things, and that's what the book is about for me.
Yes. Tell us more about the story.
It's about two brothers, Brian and Lucien lives in an institution for people with a mental and physical disability, and Brian lives with his father, very remote, in a caravan with dogs, and very remote from the city. And they don't visit Lucien that much, because they always feel a little uncomfortable when they stand next to his bed, and they don't know how to touch him or how
to deal with him.
How to deal with him. Yeah, you're right. And but for the summer, the institution they are renovating, asking, can you take Lucien home for a couple of weeks? Because we need places where we can bring Lucien and other people who are resident there. And they do it. Not because they want it, but because they get a little amount of money for it. But the father doesn't know how to handle Lucien, how to express his love. So Brian is getting the responsibility to take care of Lucien for his brother. And the book for me is about how they become brothers, how they experience their relationship, how they get to know each other, understand each other, and become brothers, actually.
That's very interesting, because they know, or they realize how to experience the brotherhood feelings by the age of 13 and 16.
Yeah.
So they spent so many years together not knowing
because they live
anything
so
about these
segregated.
emotions.
Yeah.
Because they have been separated.
But when you spend time, and that's what I wanted with the book, that when you read it, at the beginning you think Lucien, the brother with a mental and physical disability, you think he doesn't notice anything, you think he doesn't express anything. But when you finish the book and you would start reading again, you would think, oh, but he's thirsty. Oh, he's liking that girl. Oh, he's hungry. Oh, he wants to go out. So you find out what kind of things he
and you
says.
leave this to the reader. I mean, everyone...
Yes.
Yeah, Ruben, thank you so much for being with us here in Channel 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.